specialist local sports update for 1010XL. This update is brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Earlier this week, superstar Josh Allen announced that he will be changing his name to Josh Hines Allen. Doug Peterson met with the media and spoke on his feelings about the name change.
I don't know. I got to process this one a little bit. It's relatively new, but no, just excited for him. And I know some of the history there and for him and to make the name change. So I'm excited. And if it helps him get to that quarterback, man, I'm all for it.
Sound courtesy of NFL Network. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, after taking Game 3 of their 6-game series against the Gwinnett Stripers, will look to make it 2 in a row tonight at 7:05. 93 degrees at 2:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime, prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 square.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now? Oh, it's Friday. I can feel it. There's a little bit of a tingle. Freshness in the air is what it is. The Friday freshness in the air. It's XLP here on 1010XL. I'm Matt Hayes. We've got our NFL coach, Dave Campo, former NFL coach of the Dallas Cowboys. We've also got special guest today, former NFL quarterback Cleo on the show. RJ's taking care of everything in the background. Fellas, we're going all ball today. All ball. Y'all ready?
Love it.
I'm ready, man. I appreciate you guys with invite me in, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. It's by the way, Cycles of Jacksonville Friday on XLP. Great rides on and off the road, 2-wheel, 4-wheel, you name it. Plus, Honda's in the boat business now. So check out Honda on the water at Cycles of Jackson on Atlantic near Regency. It's also a heavy metal Friday, so we all know all you guys running around there with your heavy metal bands and your rock and roll. If you've got a song you want RJ the DJ to play, hit us up on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. We are getting into ball today, people. We absolutely are. We are 1 week away from rookies reporting for training camp. The anticipation could not be greater, Dave. Could not be greater. What's it like as a head coach? Let's get into this. By the way, real quick, this is going to be a short first break because we got a surprise for you. 2:15, we've got Hall of Fame QB Warren Moon.
Ooh.
He's going to break down Trevor Lawrence and a few other Jag questions for us. Real quick, though, before we get into that, Dave, as a coach, and I'll go with Cleo a little bit in a little bit as a player, the anticipation of training camp, if you're a week out, what are you doing right now as a coach a week out?
Well, first of all the coaches are back in. So you're kind of going through the last minute, organizational part of getting ready for training camp. And believe me, there's a lot to it. I mean, in a practice, knowing exactly where everybody's headed when the whistle blows, when there's a change of periods, whatever it is, all of that stuff is orchestrated so that there's no walking around, where am I supposed to go? Where's the defensive line going to be?
No guesswork.
No. I mean, it's all orchestrated. So that part is being done right now. And I'll tell you, all I know is as a head coach, I was looking at our first 2 or 3 opponents, even back at that point, and
right out of the gate in camp.
Yeah, just seeing, just seeing where we're, what we have to do to get off to a good start. And I think that's probably what he's doing. Personally, the assistant coaches are going through the organizational things that they're getting ready to do with their players.
So, Cleo, as a player, you're a week out. My guess is you're probably not somewhere vacationing right now because you're a week out. What's it like, the anticipation of camp beginning?
It's exciting, to know football is right around the corner. But at the same time, you've taken care of the family. You've done the vacations. You've had your time. You've trained. You really can't take any time off. You got to continue to train. But that week before, I would say from a quarterback standpoint, Coach, send me the practice scripts. Send me them, the first couple days of install.
Right.
I'm going through that, making sure, I'm buttoned up, I'm ready to go. But for the most part, you're ready, you're focused, you're locked in, and you're ready to get out on the field and do some things.
Is it a sense of excitement, a sense of apprehension, a little of both, or are you just, look, I've put all this effort into it since I was 8 years old playing football. It's time to get after it now. That's
probably one of the best things is because it's the unknown factor, right? You have this mindset, we're going to the Super Bowl, right? But you don't know, right. It's just exciting. You just don't know what's right around the corner, and you're just ready for any challenge that comes your way.
All right, speaking of which, and I'm going to get back to you, Dave, as far as the team and the organizational aspect of it. Josh Allen was on the NFL Network earlier this week, and he's kind of laying it out there. You're talking about, everybody wants to go to the Super Bowl, and that's kind of the goal. I mean, he's kind of talking like the Jags are in good shape right now. RJ, play that real quick.
Expect great things. Where's the camera at? Right here?
Yeah, right there. You're looking right
Expect great things from us. Our expectations are to win now, to win late, and to win in January. Taking nothing less. First, it starts with our division. Got to win that talented division, but we got the pieces to get it done. Get to the playoffs, we'll get it done. We're going to have the best defensive line. I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm holding all my other guys accountable, and we're going to be lights out. Love you, Duval. Boom. September, come out here, support your boy.
By the way, pardon me, Josh Hines out.
I was gonna correct you,
yes.
but I was really thinking about whether or not I should do that with a veteran.
And the thing is, I've nailed it too the last couple of days. Josh Hines out in there. That's Dave. That's strong talk. That's. And the thing is this is what we've been asking for now for years, like the leadership, and that right there is leadership. That's like we're gonna play late and we're gonna win late.
When I look at Josh Hines Allen, there's a reason that he got the contract that he got. Even though there was maybe a little bit of a lull between his first year and last year as far as, the sack totals and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He's been a kind of a featured person on this team for a long time. That's what I want to hear from him. He's got the leadership ability. I think he trains with the idea of going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And those are the kind of guys, when they brought in an Eric Armstead, when they brought in Mitch Morse and some of these guys, you don't bring a free agent in unless he upgrades you one way or another. And part of the upgrade is leadership.
Right.
And you've been with winners. You know what it takes to win. So I'm excited to hear him say that. I think this football team from 22 to where, they rallied at the end of the year. They really felt good about it. For the next 22 games, they were 18-4. So this football team, I believe, feels like they have the pieces that it takes. Now that ending adds a little bit of chip on the shoulder, and this is where they feel they're going right now. This is why I'm excited about this season.
Okay, so Cleo, there's no whistling through the graveyard if you're a player in the NFL, man. If you're saying something, you mean it. Right. You're not saying it because it's the opposite, but you're going to at least sound good saying it. Like he believes that, and I think the fact that he believes that, that's got to give a lot. And I hate this word hope because you never hope, Dave. You plan.
Yeah.
But I think that's got to give a lot of hope for Jaguar fans that, okay, the end of last season was an anomaly. 8-3 was reality.
Right. I would say, more importantly, it gives confidence to his teammates. It gives confidence in the locker room. You want that fan support always, but more importantly, you want that brotherhood and that locker room support. And I think when you hear that going into the season and your teammates hear you talking like that, and they, maybe he hasn't talked like that before, and they look at their phone and they see this interview and they hear it, and he's turned up the heat in the locker room.
About to get real, right?
He's turned it up, and when a player turns it up, you get a lot more buy-in from the locker room than when you have your head coach standing up there, because that's what he's supposed to say, right? But when you have that player that turns up the temperature in the locker room, you already know from a mindset, hey, look, The vet's leading. He just got his bag. We got to come with it.
Because at the end of the day, and you know I love you, Dave.
Yes.
Players run teams at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And that's, I mean, so they need guys like Josh Hines-Allen. They need Trevor Lawrence to be this type of guy to save things like that. They need guys like, we had Devin Lloyd in here during the summer, and he said he wants to be more vocal and more aggressive as far as leadership. They need more guys like that to step up, right, to prevent the collapse of last season.
And that's when you get the response is when your brother next to you and that, he's your locker mate. And he looks at you, man, hey, look, you got to pick it up. Like, we need more out of you. We need this to be done. This is what we counting on. And then when you get that in return, I think it develops into something special. And now you look at a season to where you got to start fast.
Yeah. Well, I think Leon brings it up all the time about, the guy sitting next to me tells me, hey, you better pick it up. As long as he's doing it, that means something.
You got to do it.
When you get a guy that just got a contract,
right.
that Josh Hines-Allen got, that's brings it out right there in itself. But you made the point, everybody wants to go to the Super Bowl, but there's a difference between a 14 team now.
You're stuck in that 17 now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Wait till they go to 18, then you're going to be completely discombobulated.
Between that, somebody saying that, and a team that's gone 9-8, 9-8.
Right.
And that has a little chip on the shoulder saying it. So I'm excited to hear it for sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, it's a Cycles of Jacks Friday. We're going to go to a quick break because we want to come back and get NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon on the line. Again, it's a Cycles of Jacks Friday. It's a Heavy Metal Friday. Get on the phone. Get on the text line, 904-641-1010. Give RJ your suggestions. We're going to come back with the Hall of Famer next on XLP.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
I'm Jeff Lauderman, right here on the flagship station of the Jaguars.
That's a heck of a catch.
1010XL and 92.5 FM.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. If you're going to buy an engagement ring, how much should you spend?
Frank, that's a question we hear a lot, and the guideline most often used is the equivalent of 2 months' salary. But I'll say this, the price you pay for a diamond is directly related to its beauty. If you want a big, cheap diamond, I'll guarantee you it's poor quality, and that's not what we carry at Underwoods. If you want a diamond of fine quality, cut to the right specifications for maximum beauty, not maximum weight, that's the kind of diamond we have at Underwoods. You see, when somebody's been married for a long time, they don't always remember what they paid for their engagement ring. They probably remember the sacrifice they made to pay for it. And when you consider that a diamond engagement ring will be worn every day for the rest of her life, most people will agree that a really fine quality diamond ought to be considered. That's what we specialize in at Underwoods and have since 1928.
That's Underwoods in San Marco, in Avondale, the Shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer's in full swing, and buddy, air conditioners are fully stressed. But do what I did and call the good folks of Fenwick Home Services to stay cool and comfortable all season long. You need a new AC system? Fenwick has free same-day estimates and next-day installations. And your new system is backed by a warranty of up to 12 years. That's right, 12 years. Fenwick also offers same-day 24/7 service day or night, and their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com, and stay cool and comfortable all year long.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, with big scoop of ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco Lou's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing will last 2 to 3 times longer than a shingle roof? If you want a better roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Life has its share of challenges, and when it puts you to the test, make sure you reach out to Rebound Rehabilitation to give you the quickest path back to full health and confidence. Rebound Rehab, specializing in helping patients overcome back pain and sciatica, arthritis, and fibromyalgia, just to name a few. Rebound Rehab, locations covering the entire First Coast, getting you back in control with a pain-free life. Sports injury, workplace injury, whatever it might be, you can rebound. Log on to reboundrehab.com for more info.
1010XL gives you non-stop sports talk all week.
You got a point.
And we take you into the weekend.
What's this about?
Join Compton and Company noon to 2 Saturdays for more conversation about the teams you care about most.
Oh!
On 1010XL.
This summer, beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned poker pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling poker games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
Let's go! Help cheer your Sharks on to victory as they battle the Green Bay Blizzards in exciting IFL football action this Saturday, July 13th, 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Now, check out our new Family Pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift card. It's a great deal. To purchase yours or to get more information, call 904-621-0700. And ho, ho, ho! Who's ready for Christmas in July?
A little Christmas music, maestro?
Whether you're on the naughty or nice list, come out and support your Sharks. You never know, you might get a chance to say hi to Santa.
It's almost Christmas.
All we want for Christmas is a Sharks win. Check out our post-game autograph session and see if the players and dancers are asking for the same present as you. Let's go! Don't miss the fun and excitement of Sharks football this Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Let's go!
Let's go!
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
All right, we're back on XLP. I'm Matt Hayes. We've got, by the way, our coach, NFL coach, Dave Campo, former NFL quarterback Cleo Lemon, also joins us. Leon Searcy is off for the day. Joe Cowart's finishing up his vacation. RJ's crushing it there in the box. All right, we're NFL all the time right now. Let's go to the phone lines and welcome in the legend, Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Warren, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Look, it's hot. It's summer. We're about a week away from camp opening in some places, earlier for others. You're a young 67-year-old man. Do you ever get the desire to throw a few 9 routes this time of year, Warren?
I did for a number of years, but not in the last few. I have a son that plays high school football, and I do throw the ball around with him some, but he's too busy with his teammates now to even take passes from a Hall of Famer. So I think I've gotten axed out by the younger generation.
Warren, this is Coach Dave Campo. How you doing?
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. Listen, we had some games against you, and I was glad when you left Houston. I can tell you that. My first question would be this: I'm sure you follow the NFL, and especially being a professional football player for as long as you have been, what's your take on Trevor Lawrence? Have you seen enough of him to have a reaction to him?
Yeah, I have. He's a tremendous talent, no question about it. I love his temperament. He's not a guy that gets too high. He doesn't get too low. And that's something you want in your quarterback. He's very athletically gifted. He's just been through a lot of changeover there since he's been in Jacksonville. He's had 2 coaches so far in his first, 3 or 4 years. He's had different number 1 receivers. I think he had Kirk for a while. He had Ridley for a while. Now he's going to have another guy this year. So I just think he needs to have some more consistency around him, and I think you'll see his play become more consistent. And I know he had an injury last year as well. Even though he got off to a great start, I think after the injury, he wasn't the same player. So I know he just signed the big deal. I know there's going to be a lot expected of him because of it. But I don't think he's the guy that'll put that much pressure on himself, that he's going to go out and he's going to play good football. So I think he'll eventually end up living up to all the expectations that were put on him when he was drafted number 1 overall. But with any quarterback, it's one of the most important positions in all of team sports, but it's also one of the most dependent positions in all of team sports. So if you don't have the collective around you, it's going to be hard for you to be successful. As they get that around him, I think he'll be much better.
That's awesome. Hey, how you doing, Warren? This is Cleo Lemon.
Hey, Cleo, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I got a chance to meet you back when I was with the Chargers, man.
I remember. Yeah,
man. Okay, yeah, you were doing TV for the Seattle Seahawks, man. And I've always been a huge fan of yours, man. And when I was a kid, I was just growing up. I wanted to be like you. I love your style of ball, man, and
that's great.
Hall of Famer. I followed your progress and all the things you've done. But one thing I always look at, you were so talented, when it came to passing the football, and this was back in the 70s, right? What would you do in today's game, man, if you was given the opportunity to run some of these RPOs and some of this, high tempo offense with the concentration on the passing game? What kind of numbers you think you would have put up in this game?
All I can say is, Cleo, it'd be kind of scary. I think it would be scary. Not just myself. You look at John Elway. If you put him in this era, you put Dan Marino in this era, or some of the other guys that I played with that became Hall of Famers. This is a passing man's game right now. It's a receiver man's game right now, and that was my strength. That was my style. So I would have loved to play in this era right now, and I definitely wouldn't have minded picking up the checks that they pick up every week too.
Hey, Warren, I've said over and over that I think the quarterback position is the most important, the most stressful position in all of sports, in any sport. There's just so much to be done from the time you're calling the play in the huddle till you break, till you hit the line of scrimmage, to pre-read, everything. What makes a rare quarterback? Because you got guys drafted in the first round that are busts. You've got the last pick in the draft who's now one of the best quarterbacks in the league with Brock Purdy. What makes a rare quarterback?
Well, it's a lot of the intangibles. First of all, I think you definitely have to have the physical skills. You don't have to necessarily have to have a rocket for an arm, or you don't have to be highly athletic, but you have to have a good enough arm. You have to be a little bit athletic. I think mental and physical toughness have something to do with it, because you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. You go through a lot of adversity at that position, and how do you bounce back from those situations? How do you bounce back from throwing an interception? How do you bounce back from throwing a big incomplete on a third down when you needed it on that drive? What do you do when you go back on the field? How do you process that on the bench while you're over there getting ready to go back out there? I think that has a lot to do with it. And then how your teammates view you, and a lot of that happens during the week, through your preparation, through what they see you doing, getting prepared for games. And then they also want to see how you handle losses and how you handle bad situations. So all of those different things have to do with a quarterback. And like I said earlier in this interview, it's a dependent position. So you've got to have people around you. And some of the young guys that you've seen come into the league that have been bust, a lot of them have gone to situations where they just didn't have the support. They didn't have the resources to help themselves be successful. And once you get off to a bad start, your confidence starts to wane, and next thing you know, you're on the bench. So what they surround you with has a whole lot to do with your success as well.
Warren, Cleo, the question that Cleo just asked you, I thought was great, and it kind of goes to mine right now. As a coach, I always feel like the run and shoot offense that you guys ran at Houston back in the day was kind of a precursor to today's NFL passing game. Would you agree with that, and do you see the similarities?
There's no question, Coach, what teams are doing today with the four wides and the spread offenses and that. All comes off of what we were doing with the run and shoot, and the only difference is we had four wide receivers all the time. Where now, because of these hybrid tight ends, you've got a Travis Kelce or some of these guys who can really run like a wide receiver, but you can also use them as a regular tight end. So there's a little bit more versatility in the offense because of these tight ends, the way they can play. But you look at the combinations of routes, you look at the adjustable routes that they have going now, where receivers can almost never be covered based off of what they see on the defense. The back shoulder throws, we called it a fade stop. Today they're calling it just back shoulder throws, but we did all of that stuff back in in 1990. So yeah, I see a lot of similarities between what we were doing. The difference being that we had four wideouts all the time, and today they still use a tight end. And I had to defend it. Yes, you did. And you did a pretty good job, my man. You got a few rings on your fingers to show for it. Thank you.
So I got a quick question. I had a chance to play in the Canadian League, right? And I know that's where you went after you left the University of Washington.
Right.
So when you look back on your time there, because I know how hard that game is, right? With that 12th man, the big field, the motion. How did that help you develop into the NFL quarterback that you were, the Hall of Fame NFL quarterback that you were?
It just increased my versatility up there. Even though I didn't want to go there and play, of course, my dream was to play in the NFL like every other kid that, dreams of being a football player. That's not where I wanted to start my career, but I didn't have any other choice because I wasn't going to be allowed to play quarterback. But I went up there with the mind focus to get better and to just show what I could do up there, and also be able to show NFL scouts when they did come to our games what I was able to do. And I think the versatility is what helped me, because we ran an offense where we sprinted out and threw the football. We did play action, and we also threw from the pocket. And I didn't do a lot of pocket passing when I was in college, so that part of my game really improved when I got up there. So the benefits of me going up there was the fact that I got to play every week, and I got to be in situations, and I wasn't sitting on a sideline holding a clipboard for a veteran. I was actually playing. So that part of it really helped me, but there's no question where I wanted to be, and that's why I ended up coming back to the NFL.
Yeah, Edmonton could use you right now, Warren. They're winners.
Man, they could use a lot.
They're on 4 right now. so listen, all offseason we've been trying to break down, the collapse of the Jaguars and how Trevor Lawrence regressed from his 2022 season. A lot of talk has been around turnovers, and he's had some problems with fumbles. As a quarterback, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the fumble aspect? Because interceptions guys make plays out there. Interceptions are going to happen, but fumbles are different. How do you deal with that?
You just have to be more mindful that you have to protect the football, and it starts in practice with the way you go through your drills in the beginning, as far as keeping two hands on the ball in all situations. If you're a guy that has had a bunch of fumbles in the pocket, making sure that when guys come through with bags to hit you or whatever, they're grabbing at the football and just making you much more aware of where your weaknesses are. So whatever your weaknesses are, that's what you need to go back into the lab and work on. And I think that's what Trevor needs to do. I ended up leading the NFL in fumbles, believe it or not, and it was because I had a open dislocation of my thumb. In my last 10 years of my career, I could not bend my thumb.
Wow.
So I didn't get a lot of pressure on the ball. So I dropped a lot of snaps sometimes. So every time if I dropped the snap under center, I also led the league in fumble recoveries because I'd fall right back. I'd fall right back on the ball. So that was something I really had to try and work on to try and strengthen that thumb so I had a better grip on the ball. But I never let anybody know that I had that problem as far as my thumb was concerned because I didn't want them to start replacing me. You know, when you get to a certain age, they start looking for reasons to get rid of you. So I never let on about that except for between me and my trainer. And yeah, that was a problem I had sometimes, that I dropped a lot of snaps, but I never had a problem dropping the ball in the pocket as much.
I'll tell you, that's why you're a Hall of Famer. You were able to adjust. Adjust in the NFL is big. If you fumbled it, you got back on it. No problem.
Well, the thing that scared me, Coach, was I had to change the way I released the football and how I held the football. But I was able to get that done, too, and still be able to throw it effectively in those last, 8-10 years of my career.
And I know your thumb, it was a big part of it. But I would also ask, too, would you probably, I wouldn't say anticipate, but do you think there might be an issue with Trevor holding on to the ball too long in the pocket and not anticipating things and getting the ball out on time that sometimes causes the pass rush to get there and create those fumble opportunities for the defense?
You know, that can happen, and you see that happen with a lot of young quarterbacks when they come into the league. They want to see it come open, and I think Justin Fields was somebody I looked at the last few years too that I felt the same way about, that he held the ball a little bit too long in the pocket and took unnecessary sacks because he had to see the play come open as opposed to anticipating that window. And I don't know if that's because Trevor's had different receivers, over his first so many years in the league and doesn't have that relationship with him yet, or maybe that's what he's used to, just coming out of Clemson. But that's something he's got to change and become more of a quarterback that can anticipate the holes, can anticipate the windows, and I think that comes with just a lot more one-on-one work with your receivers.
He's Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Warren, thank you so much for joining us. Great stuff. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Warren.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Man, thank you, Warren.
Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll tell you what. You hit it with the run and shoot. The run and shoot is kind of what today's offense is with the vertical passing game. It's very some. June Jones was a brilliant offensive mind.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, the guy that used it the most in my time was Manning.
Right.
With the Colts.
Right, they did very similar things.
They had a very simple attack. Bang, 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 and that was it. And if certain guys went a certain way, you kind of knew what was happening, but you couldn't stop it because it was so precise.
I'll tell you, Greg, we got to go to break. I know, RJ. Hang on. I'll tell you a great story. I went out to Hawaii like in the early 2000s to do a story on Colt Brennan, the quarterback out there, and I sat with June. We were sitting on the beach talking. It's awesome. And he said, watch the Patriots. They're literally running our offense right now. They're running the run and shoot offense.
Wow.
He said, you watch what they do. That's what they are running the run and shoot. If you look at it, it's the same thing. And I started thinking, I was like, wow, that's insane. All right. What an interview with Warren Moon. Fantastic. All right. We're going to come back. On the other side, we're going to get deep into our camp preview. And we got some good stuff here we're going to get into. Come on back. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Want more Jags? Subscribe to the 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel. Looking for more in-depth coverage of the Gators? Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Need your FSU fix? Well, subscribe to the 1010XL Seminoles YouTube channel. Your favorite team, one specific location.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at kuhnflowers.com.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need any special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
You know, Santa's on the beach this time of year, but the elves at Beard's Diamonds have been busy.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to an unbelievable 40% off.
Don't buy anywhere until you shop Beard's Diamonds.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
July 12, 1930, at the Men's U.S. Open, defending champion Bobby Jones wins record-tying fourth U.S. Open title, capturing his third consecutive major title.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect fare for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-743-9288. 800-743-9288. 800-743-9288.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
All right, we're back on XLP. Dave Campo, Cleo Lemon, RJ with just a phenomenal get with Warren Moon there, brother. Wait, just well done. I don't know what else to say to you. Well done, my man. Well done. If you missed that interview, go online, listen on demand, 1010XL.com. Warren Moon breaking down Trevor Lawrence and Jags and just being a quarterback in the NFL. We have a former NFL quarterback, Cleo Lemon, with us, as well as our coach, Dave Campo. Joe C's out on vacay, one more day. Leon's out for the day. So, guys, I wanted to talk about, we are a week away from rookies reporting, obviously, for training camp. And I wanted to talk about guys that really have the most invested in this camp, guys that are on the spot right now. And I want to start with, and because Cleo is here, Dave, I want to start with the middle three on the offensive line, because we know how the offensive line struggled last year, struggled the year before. In fact, they began last season in camp with those T-shirts about the 30th ranked offensive line. Didn't play much better. So my three guys right now, I think, at the head of this list that are on the spot in camp are Mitch Morse, the center, Ezra Cleveland, and Brandon Scherff, the two guards. And as a quarterback, Cleo, how critical is that middle protection? Because we always talk about the tackle protection, and it's a huge deal, obviously. But the middle protection was an issue last year as well. And how important is that as a quarterback, and how critical is that for your timing, for your anticipation, I mean, for your confidence in general in the passing game?
It's very important. I would say, especially at the center position. Coach can speak to this. You're in the center, you guys are connected at the hip when it comes to making the calls. When it comes to pass protection, when it comes to the run game, and then when it comes to making audibles and checking off and getting to the better play, you have to be on the same page. So we used to watch film with the centers during the week, and that was a big part of preparation. And to see how the safeties are rocking and rolling, where they're anticipating the pressure, whether pressure's come from the boundary or it's coming from the field, or they might be doing something in the middle. It is very critical, and it is very important for you to be able to create passing lanes for the quarterback. If you get that edge pressure, you can always just step up in the pocket and avoid it, and then you can pretty much buy yourself a little bit of time.
If you've got that protection in the middle three.
If you got that protection in the middle three. But if you're getting pushed, it doesn't have to be a free runner. You can be getting pushed, and now the center or the guard is in your lap. Now you're unable to follow through and get everything you need to get on it, which creates accuracy issues.
Everything, mechanics, it screws with everything, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
So that middle part of the offensive line is critical, and they have to be cohesive. They have to be, all those guys have to be linked together as one.
And Dave, you brought up a great point. There were injuries last year. There's no doubt about it. You and I always joke about the injuries.
Right.
But there were injuries, okay? You brought up a great point during the break about your first game with the Cowboys and how the offensive line, we talk about this all the time, and Leon talks about it all the time. The lines of scrimmage are where the games are won. You guys lost your first game of the season to, an expansion team.
Yeah, it was the first game against the Houston, and it wasn't my first game as a Cowboy. It was my first game of my last year with the Cowboys.
Your last year, that's right. All right.
Yeah. We lost 14-7, but they took a picture the week of the game in practice when the media was there for the first 5 or 10 minutes or whatever, and 4 of our starting 5 offensive linemen were in grays standing behind the huddle. So we went into the game, obviously, with a disadvantage, and what Cleo said about that push is as important as, knowing the protection and doing all that kind of stuff, because I always feel like you look at a Patrick Mahomes, for example, if there's no pressure into his face in the middle three, even if there's pressure, he can step up and go laterally underneath all the outside pressure and now gets him on the edge and things are going. If you got pressure inside, it forces you to go out of the pocket around those outside guys, and now you got a problem.
Right.
But it speeds up your decisions. It speeds up everything. And again, when you talk about injuries, when you don't have the same offensive line in all the time, as Cleo said, that part of knowing the protections and where blitzes are coming and all those things affect the situation. And the one thing about Trevor Lawrence is he's such a competitor that I believe he hangs in there too long because he feels he can make a throw at the last minute. And now all of a sudden the pressure's there, and that's where you get the fumbles in a lot of situations in the pocket.
He feels like his arm can get him out of any jam.
Absolutely.
Which is what it has done
and it can
for all of his career,
watch
right?
Some of the throws he makes, and
he's
nobody else can make them.
And he's a big guy. Like, he's not a small guy.
Right.
So for him, he feels like sometimes, if some of these big guys get their hands on him, he can shed him.
Absolutely.
And he can make a play. So when you're able to extend it, that's when you get the big explosive plays down the field.
All right, we want to get you involved on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Give us your one or two, three if you want, players with the most on the line entering training camp. Cleo, I want to go back to the center because you brought up, so you made a good point about the center, and we've kind of been joking about this for months now, right, Dave, on XLP here, is that it just seems like they've put the entire blame of that collapse on Luke Fortner. You go and get Mitch Morse. How much of an impact, how much of an increase will having a veteran, a stable veteran, whether he's had injury issues or not the last couple of years, getting that veteran there in the middle, how big will that be for the middle three?
It secures everything when it comes to just the communication of the offensive line. I think, with Kelsey in Philly, right, the center, he just retired. He was a clog in the middle, and he was a big part of their success. And if you have someone who can come in and lead that room, it would be most likely that person, that center position. And if you get that right veteran and you get that right mix of players, I think it changes everything, especially when it comes to the run game, because people always talk about the pass game. But you got to, double team these big D tackles. These guys are huge, man.
Yeah.
And you got to get movement. And for these running backs and ATN, for these guys to be able to, get upfield and create some explosive plays, they got to be able to move some people in the run game. And then when you lock that center down and he's able to make the right call and get into the right play, get that double team block, the sky's the limit for the play action, for passing and running.
So when you have confidence in that center position, the guards will play better just naturally.
Naturally. Everyone plays better because the communication level goes to a different level, right? Because sometimes you might miss a blitz because of communication.
Right.
But because of film study and you're communicating with the center and he's seeing it before it happens, and you'll see it as they're doing the snaps. You see them with the hand up and they start pointing.
Yep.
That's when they're communicating. We can't hear it as we're watching it from the stands or from our living room. But on the field, it's talking. Everyone is out there constantly. Defense is talking. The offense is talking. So it's a bunch of communication that goes on.
You were talking about it early in your career, in Troy Aikman's career in Dallas. There was the middle rush problem, right? And you guys have that problem with the middle rush.
Correct.
Talk about that. Explain what happened and how you guys fixed it.
Well, first of all, it came down to the fact that we had a rookie center in Stepnowski. It took him
undersized rookie center. No
less.
An
undersized rookie center.
Yeah.
But he was such a competitor, but he was smart. And eventually he was able to figure it out like Cleo's talking about.
Leverage and stuff.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, there's no better. He's the guy that should be talking about all of this because he was behind that center.
Right.
He knows how important it is. To me, the concern that I have with Fortner was not necessarily his mental part.
Mm-hmm.
It was more physical because it was not strong enough.
Right.
And that pressure is what I'm talking about almost more than the communication part of it. But the communication comes when you don't have the same group playing together all the way through. Not just the center, but he's the key man for sure.
Was there a concern of, if we don't get this right, Troy is not going to develop, and then we're going to have a bigger problem?
Absolutely. And the biggest thing to me is that we had a guy like Nate Newton and Larry Allen.
Oh, wow.
Physically, once not Fortner, but Stepnowski got it down, it was a no-brainer. So definitely Troy was a drop back passer.
Yeah,
I mean, there was
right.
he wasn't doing any perimeter stuff.
And I think Emmett ran for a lot of yards.
Emmett getting the run game going.
Michael Irvin on the outside helped too.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay Novacek helped. Yeah, your whole
we
group
had some
helped.
good players.
Right.
I mean, let me put it that way.
But Cleo, I mean, Warren Moon talked about it. He said, when you get that pressure, your confidence starts to wane a little bit. As a quarterback, how difficult is that to continue to stay confident in what you can do and where you can place a ball is if you're constantly avoiding pressure?
It's everything, because it's not only the confidence that you have in yourself, which hopefully you made up of the right things, right? That's what got you into that locker room. But more importantly, it's the confidence of everyone that they have in you to be their leader. When that wanes, right? That's what you don't want. You want that confidence to remain in your teammates, because you want them to be able to look at you as like, he's going to be able to get it done in any situation. So if you do get a little pressure up the middle, you'll have to find a way to avoid it. If you do have some pressure situations that, you might get hit on a couple of different things that you weren't anticipating going through the week, you make the sideline adjustments, right?
Yes.
That's part of it. You see the offensive line coaches pull out the whiteboard.
Absolutely.
That's part of the game, right? You got to be able to make those adjustments. But the confidence piece, you got to have that at all times. But you got to also remain confident in who you are, but also continue to have those guys around you in the locker room to believe in you to get it done.
So this is very simplistic, okay? But it's also something that I'm sure everybody out there is wondering. Like, you can say you're confident. It's like the old Mike Tyson thing. Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Absolutely.
Like, once you get hit, it's different, right?
Oh, it's very different, because if you're up in Buffalo in December and you getting hit, that doesn't feel too good. that hurts.
Or in Canada.
Or in Canada, right. So, those hits affect the quarterback. And if you talk to any defensive coach, they always say, affect the quarterback by hitting him. Let's get a piece of them every chance we get.
Because they compound, which I don't, it's easy for us to sit in the living room and watch this and say, how could you not get that off? Or how did you miss that guy? Or, how did you not make that throw? Those hits over and over and over every game.
And right? And this is the crazy part. It's something, this is just my opinion. I believe the hardest hits for a quarterback are sometimes the completions, right?
Right.
Because as you stand in the quarterback and you looking down the barrel and you follow through, everybody's following the ball. But they never see that defensive lineman that finishes you off, dumps you into the ground, put his body weight on you, and then he steps over you, does his little dance, and then we move on to the next play.
Might kick you.
Right, all that, right? So I can remember that happening, with Vince Wilfork, him with the Patriots and him running right through the middle of my chest, and I threw a completion. Everybody was yelling and screaming, but I'm on the ground rolling around, I got to try to get myself back together.
You heard my story about Troy. When he was a rookie, he got hit through a touchdown pass of about 45 yards, and the guy drilled him right in the face. In the old days, he didn't have the same protection.
Right.
And I was concerned as a defensive coach sitting there, exactly what you're talking about. I said to myself, man, I hope that doesn't affect this rookie. And it didn't. He was able to, we would clean things up or whatever, and he, but you heard also the rant and rave that he had with the offensive line on that clip we had here the other day. Enough's enough.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. And we need to go to break here, but I want to ask you this real quick: is a guy goes through you and hits through you and hits you, and you're on the ground and you're on your back, and it hurts.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? Next play.
Let's do it.
Next play. You got to get up next play.
Let's do it.
And go through the process all over. This is why I say it's the most difficult position. You got to get up, call the play, which is not easy calling a play in the NFL. We can get into that too. You got to get to the line of scrimmage. You got to do pre-snap reads. You got to get the snap, protect the ball.
And you got this coach in your earpiece screaming and yelling. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to set protections. You got to worry about audibles. You got to protect the ball. You got to make the right throw on time with anticipation. You got to read coverages. You got to read combo coverages. You got to read them doing different stuff with blitzes. It's not an easy position. That's number one.
And give it to me.
And number two, you're getting killed every play.
Give it to me every day of the week. I want it.
That's the interesting thing that Warren said in the interview when Warren said that the quarterback position's the most important position, but it's the most dependent position in sports because you got to have the guys around you. I mean, you say whatever you want. They say these quarterbacks today can make a receiver better than he is. That's only if he's got that protection and has the time to do it.
That's a perfect segue into what we're going to talk about in hour number 2. We're going to get further into these guys that are on the spot on the Jaguars roster with training camp a week away. Come back on the other side. It's XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Bringing the weekend to the weekday.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3, work.
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Buy a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla for just $1,000 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $1,000 down and $388 per month. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock and more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you even get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Shop the Big One sales event, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Dave and Ammon here with Zero Res. So Ammon, you have worked for Zero Res since you were 9 years old. What makes Zero Res the right choice for cleaning carpets and tile?
I can think of 3 simple reasons. We have the best process, the best people, and our promise to do the best cleaning possible every time.
So what deals does Zero Res offering for this month?
July is National Carpet Cleaning Month. So for home carpet cleaning, we're offering $49 per room, and for businesses, we're offering 20% off.
Sounds like a great time to get your carpets cleaned. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you feeling the heat? It's time to cool things down with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Contact us today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning to keep you cool and comfortable all year round. I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There are a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesofJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Let's go! Help cheer your Sharks on to victory as they battle the Green Bay Blizzards in exciting IFL football action this Saturday, July 13th, 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Now, check out our new family pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift card. It's a great deal. To purchase yours or to get more information, call 904-621-0700. And ho, ho, ho! Who's ready for Christmas in July?
A little Christmas music, maestro?
Whether you're on the naughty or nice list, come out and support your Sharks. You never know, you might get a chance to say hi to Santa.
It's almost Christmas.
All we want for Christmas is a Sharks win. Check out our post-game autograph session and see if the players and dancers are asking for the same present as you.
Let's go!
Don't miss the fun and excitement of Sharks football this Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Let's go!
Let's go! The time to buy an emergency generator is before you need it, not when you're sitting in the dark. Storms happen in a hurry in Florida, so be prepared. Protect your family and property with American Electrical Contracting. Call them today, 737-7770.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update for 1010XL. There were wholesale changes made to the defensive side of the football for the Jacksonville Jaguars, both with coaches as well as new faces via the draft and free agency. Head coach Doug Peterson met with NFL Network and discussed whether or not he believes the defense will look different this season.
You'll see some differences with the defense. I think it's all positive. But at the same time, we got to get it all gelled on the same page as we move forward.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and Everbank Stadium partners will host a job fair on Monday, July 15th at Everbank Stadium. The hiring aims to fill thousands of part-time positions for all 2024 home games and other Everbank Stadium events throughout the season. The event will take place from 5 to 8 p.m. in the East Gallagher Club at Everbank Stadium. 95 degrees at 3:01, time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday on XL Primetime.
All right, we're back on XLP. It's Friday. It's Friday, baby. Yeah. It is Friday in the summer. Right. Woo! Love it. All right, we've been talking about players with the most on the line entering training camp. Week away for rookies report, and one very important rookie is reporting then. He's excited about coming here to Jacksonville, and he's definitely on the spot. RJ, let's hear what Brian Thomas has to say.
Just like hearing going from being signals and just hearing a play call, being in the huddle and having to hear a play call, I was probably say that was the biggest surprise I had. Just trying to hear that and remember it, and then be able to go out there and execute it.
All right, so that's him talking about the adjustment to the NFL from the college game. Look, Brian Thomas had a huge season last year. Brian Thomas had a better season than Malik Neighbors last year. This is a guy. Look, we know the history of the position with the Jaguars and the wide receivers in the draft. This team, and this cannot be said enough, has never picked a wide receiver in the first round who has earned a second contract. So that's a damning, alarming, whatever you want to say, statement, okay? We all know the names: R.J. Soward, Reggie Williams, Matt Jones, Justin Blackman. We just over and over and over. We all know the names, okay? Now here we go with Thomas. And the thing, I guess the thing that's sitting out there right now with Brian Thomas, who's a uber talent, guy can run, can get 50-50 balls. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be what's the transition like to the NFL, okay? But still sitting out there is the reality that they could have had Brandon Ayuk, okay? And again, you got to pay him. There's no doubt about that. But they chose instead to draft and develop, and that's the way to do it in the NFL. There's no doubt about that. But he's got a lot on him right now because they need a number one, and they need a guy out there. And Dave, I want to go to you because when you guys arrived in Dallas, the Cowboys had a number one, but they also had a number one in the locker room is what Michael Irvin was.
Right.
And that's the kind of guy I think Trevor needs. I think Trevor needs an alpha-type guy at wide receiver.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see because, I've had limited contact with Brian Thomas. I've seen enough film on him to know that as a scout, if I was looking at Brian Thomas, I would say he's a number one. At the same time, sometimes it takes guys a little while, to really get acclimated. It's a different animal now. Every team you run up against is going to have a pretty good corner and a pretty good safety that's going to hit you when you come over the middle. So there's a lot of things that have to be figured out. The one thing I don't see with him, though, is that expressive alpha.
The alpha dog. Yeah.
I don't know that. He very well could be. The one thing I do know, though, is I spoke with Ed Ogeron after the draft. And, Ed was a GA for us at Miami, so I have a pretty good relationship with him. And he said, this kid's the real deal. And of course, he said the same thing about Mason Smith.
Right.
If he's healthy, he's the real deal. So,
right. Which I would agree with, yeah.
I know this. The guy can make a big play. He's got speed. Watching him in camp, he can run the intermediate routes. He puts his foot in the ground and he accelerates. So, the great thing about it is we need a number one, but we don't need a Diggs number one right now.
Right.
Because we have other people.
Right.
Okay. And so he has time, in my opinion, with Gabe Davis and Ingram and Kirk and, the guys that they have to maybe work into that role.
But it would be nice to have a Jamar Chase one from the jump. It'd be nice to have that.
And again, listen, the receivers coming out of LSU now have a pretty good history.
Yeah.
So that's what you're hoping.
All right. So, Cleo, as a quarterback, we always hear the talk about the number one receiver. The quarterback's got to have a number one guy. He's got to have a guy that when it's 3rd and 6, he knows that guy's going to get open and he knows he can get him the ball. And if it's close to his catch radius, he's going to grab it. Number one, is that a reality? And number two, how much better is it for a quarterback? How much more comfortable is it for a quarterback when you know you've got a guy on the outside there that can win consistently in one-on-one?
It's a big deal because at some point in this game, they're going to spin that safety down. They're going to spin that safety back to the middle of the field, and they're going to press up everyone across the board, right?
Right.
And when it gets to that single high man coverage, 9 times out of 10, you going to the guy that you feel that's going to get open. I don't care what all these quarterbacks say and all the ball talk, and they can get on this board and draw these route combinations.
Right.
But when it's single high and it's 3rd down and it's man coverage, you're going to a guy that's going to separate and get open. And I think that's going to be everything that Trevor needs for his development. And I also believe with Gabe Davis added to the mix, he's going to bring in that veteran leadership, right? So this will be Brian Thomas' first training camp.
Right.
He needs to be shown what is a professional like. Like, how do you go about your business in a NFL training camp? Christian Kirk is going to play a huge part in his development. How do I recover? How do I take care of my body?
Right.
How, when I do have success in practice, how do I respond the next day? Or if I don't have success, how do I come out and respond, right? Because at the end of the day, when you get that first round grade, you get that first round check, everybody that's on that field, especially when it comes to the defensive side, right, the corners, they licking their chops. They want a piece of them, right? Because they know I can prove myself, right, to the organization.
Right.
But also, I want to get him better because we're going to rely on him. So it's going to be very competitive, and he's going to have to rely on the veterans in the room.
See,
did you see? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Did you see? You were at the training, OTAs
in minicamp, yeah.
And when Landry was here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Landry spent every waking minute that he was here
with Thomas.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Cleo's talking about. He was there to show what he can do, but at the same time, that he was kind of telling that young boy what has to happen.
Right.
That was part of the reason for bringing him in my opinion.
Right. And look, I'm not trying to protect Trevor Lawrence, and I know all you guys these guys out there make fun of me because they think, I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a terrific talent. I will say this, in the 3 years he's been here, he hasn't had a 1. Calvin Ridley was not a 1 last year.
Right.
You're not running the wrong route as a 1 receiver. You're not being where you should be as a 1. Christian Kirk's a very good receiver. I love Christian Kirk. You were right, dead on about him from the jump. Gabe Davis, I think, will be a nice compliment for them. Evan Ingram, I think, is a terrific tight end who I think is Trevor's guy on 3rd down. He still hasn't had a 1. Like how much better can he be when he gets a 1, Dave?
Well, he can definitely be better. And the biggest thing about it, he hasn't had a 1 that can take the cover off the.
Yes.
Because Ingram and Kirk give him what his number 1 is because he had to get rid of the football because of pressure and their intermediate receivers.
Right.
Either shallow cross or deep cross. That's when they lost Kirk, they lost the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Well, now all of a sudden, when you got wide receivers that can run posts, you got another middle defender, middle field.
Yeah.
Open.
Right.
Opportunity.
Right.
So I think that's where, the guy is going to be important. And that's where I'm saying he doesn't have to catch 100 balls. He just has to get himself in key situations in position to make big plays.
Right.
And that's what Gabe Davis does as well.
Yes.
He's capable of doing those kind of things.
So, Cleo, as a quarterback, and I'm not even talking about the number 1 overall pick, for God's sakes, just as a quarterback in general, if you go 3 years in the league, the first year where they just god-awful team, and you don't have a 1, that's not optimum, is it? As a quarterback?
It's not. But I'm sure there were guys in the receiver room that thought they were number 1s.
I mean legitimate guys on the outside who can win 70, 80% of the times in man coverage. Zay Jones went out there. I don't know that he was a guy that can consistently win. Calvin Ridley couldn't. I don't think DJ Truck was a guy who could consistently win out there.
So when they're putting this roster together, like, you got to dig deep into the mind of the general manager, right? Like, who are we thinking is going to be that person? Because putting this roster together, you got to have that in mind. Like, is it Gabe? Is it Christian? Like, it has to be one of those guys, because you kind of felt like Ridley was that person for them, right? He was going to separate. He was going to get open. And it wasn't consistent. You saw the flashes of it. But now with this situation, it kind of felt like they wanted to pay Trevor, pay Josh Hines, and then let this season kind of work itself out. Maybe they got some on the back end that we don't know about, but I know they feel this will be a receiver by committee. I would say that. Right. This will be by committee. It'll be Ingram on third down. It'll be Christian in the red zone, right? It'll be Brian Thomas possibly taking the top off the defense, catching deep balls. So I think they're going to attack this season by committee. And I think when you do that for Trevor and then secure the middle of the offensive line, I think there's success to be had.
So the idea then is to be, instead of having a true X like Brian Thomas, or even if Gabe Davis is that guy, I still think that Brian Thomas is probably the guy, Brian Thomas Jr. is probably the guy they want out there. The idea then, I guess, from what you're seeing, Cleo, and what you've said in the past, Dave, is kind of going back to the 2022 season when you have options all over the field.
Right.
Yes.
And you've got options that can hurt a defense all over the field. You may not have a guy that can take the top off or a guy that could occasionally do it, but you've got guys that can stress a defense.
The play that Kirk got hurt on was a 30-yard crossing route.
Right.
Wide open.
Right.
Okay, so that they missed that right on the blocks as soon as he got hurt. Now they didn't have that guy. Ridley could separate on the deep balls, but he dropped 2 or 3 big ones.
Right.
Right.
And so they need a consistent guy. Watching Brian Thomas, it's easy. It's easy.
Really?
Catches everything. Easy. Not that he's not going to drop anything, but speed and easy, I like. Now, is the toughness and all those things, I don't know, because we haven't seen it, and I haven't seen enough of them.
And then to Coach's point, listening to the cut RJ just played, I don't know if you heard what he said. He said, I was in a huddle listening to plays. They don't do that in college.
No, he's out. No, they're running no huddle. He's out there. He's looking to the sideline. They're holding up 5 different signs,
Right. So he has to adjust his game. So now, to Coach's point, now we spinning up here.
Yep.
So now I got to consume this playbook. I got to figure out where do I fit in, right? Am I the X? Am I the Z, right? And then once we start moving people around, can I keep up?
Yeah.
Because I've seen guys that cannot keep up. And all of a sudden, that first-round talent that ran a 4.3 at the
That's
combine
a great point. Yeah.
is out there on the field thinking now he's running
4.6.
He's running 4.6.
Right.
That's
See what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And like what you said, you said it's easy. And when I said really because I'm thinking it might be easy in OTAs and minicamp, but when camp starts,
yeah,
and he's going day after day after day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, he's got DBs out there that are trying to get on this team. He's gonna have to work, man.
Yeah. No, when I say easy, I'm talking about
it looks
catches.
easy. Yeah, catches easy. Yeah.
In other words, he can do this.
Yeah.
He can do this. He can do this without even thinking. I mean, it's
right.
It's his hands are really good. That's
right.
kind of what I meant.
Right.
I didn't emphasize that enough. I guess.
Right. Well, I guess if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Dave's been holding his hands up the entire time. That's actually a great point. It's a great point to take a break real quick because I want to come back with that. Because that kind of fits into what we've been talking about all week, it's the mind. It's as much the mind as the physical ability. And Warren Moon was talking about, you guys have talked about that, the adjustment period for young guys. It's really the mind still for Trevor Lawrence as well. So let's get into that too. Let's get into that too in the next segment. It's XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. He's a Seminole that's still academically eligible.
Get the world by the tail and wrap it around and pull it down and put it in my pocket.
Rick Ballou.
We're going to show this world a thing or two.
Evenings on 1010XL.
Hey folks, it's Jennifer Marion. Randy Marion Cadillac is the pinnacle of luxury in the First Coast area.
And guess what? We've got the all-new Cadillac Lyriq with $16,000 off MSRP.
That's right. You pick the color and drive away today in ultimate style.
Experience the future of driving with the Cadillac Lyriq. Electric, elegant, and exhilarating.
Visit us online at RandyMarionCadillacofJacksonville.com or come see us on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Don't miss out on this unbeatable deal. Plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resistor.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, with a big scoop of ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco Lou's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
First Coast, I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
In sports, the grind outside the lines is what ultimately defines our success. Get the amateur's edge, powered by B3 Better, to learn the hidden path of top pros, amateurs, and coaches. Saturday mornings at 11 on 1010XL.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
All right, we're back on XLP. We've got our hero, Dave Campo. Also former NFL QB, Cleo Lemon, RJ crushing it there in the box. I'll tell you what, we had Mark Ross on yesterday. I want to tell you this, Dave, because you are not only our coach, but you are our secondary coach. And Mark Ross spent 11 years with the Giants, their college scouting director, worked in their personnel department. He shook me yesterday. Almost as much as Cleo shook me about last segment with Brian Thomas, and he's going to be listening to the play call for the first time.
I didn't mean to shake you. My bad. I apologize.
But you know, what Mark Ross said is he was talking about Darnell Savage and Ronald Darby, the two additions. We were talking about the secondary, and he said those are suitcase guys. Those are guys just going from place to place to place to place. And I remember standing in minicamp with you in the end zone, and you looking at me and looking at Darby. You said that dude's going to help them this year. So I'm going to get Cleo to walk me off the ledge with Brian Thomas Jr., and then I'm going to get you to walk me off the ledge right now with the secondary, because that was I think everybody out there who heard that interview yesterday was probably like, wait a second, that does not sound good about Darby and Savage.
I think that's one of the two or three most underrated positions on the team right now, in my opinion. Darby was a solid NFL player. The only reason he was out of Baltimore is money as compared to age.
Mm-hmm.
What happens with free agents, they have a harder time making it on their own team than they do with people looking at them from afar, because they see them every day. So they make a determination like they did with Ridley. Do I let a guy go based on what I have to pay him? Whereas when you bring a free agent in, it's more about, can he help our football team? Does he upgrade what we have there. If you're worried about Darby, he gave up very few, almost no touchdowns and very few completions when he's on the field. It's an injury situation. Whether or not he can play 17 games, I don't know that. But as far as his ability, he's not a suitcase guy, in my opinion. And then when you look at Savage intrigues me because we had Darren Woodson back with the Cowboys. Darren was a starting free safety and the starting nickel on third down. And the reason for it was he had corner speed because he was a cover safety.
Right.
He had corner speed so he could play man-to-man against the slots.
Right.
But he had an advantage over bringing a corner in there because as a safety, you read routes to determine where other guys are going to be. If number 2 goes in and number 3 goes out, there's a pretty good chance that number 1 is going to come behind him in.
Right.
Well, that's the same thing a nickel does in zone defense. He reads combination. If 2 goes in and 3 goes out, I'm going to pass number 2 and work off a number.
Which was their huge problem last year of passing.
Absolutely.
In zone.
And the one thing that Savage has is he has corner speed, plus what you're getting. He's not a great open field tackler, but he's not timid.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When you get up close to the line of scrimmage, everybody's saying, well, he missed a lot of tackles as a safety. That's a completely different tackling position
than when you're up at the line of scrimmage.
Up at the line of scrimmage. Right. It's based on whether or not you want to hit anybody or not.
All right, so I need to say this because you didn't say it yet. You said it in the break, which, again, I'm going to convince Steve Griffin, our boss, that, we need to, sell for $9.99 a month. You can, watch us during the break because it's the stuff that goes on during the break in these shows is phenomenal. What you said in the break about Ronald Darby is...
You want me to say it?
Yes, go ahead.
If you're worried about the corner position, don't worry about it.
Why?
Because I think the guy is...
No, what you said. What did you say?
I can't remember. Go ahead.
You said if he stays healthy, I guarantee you he will be better than Darius Williams. And this is a guy who made his bones...
In the scheme.
Yes, in the scheme. This is a guy who made his bones coaching the secondary in the NFL. So you are, and I remember standing in that end zone with you in minicamp. You're like, that dude's going to help them. He's a player. So you're convinced with Darby then. You're good.
I'm convinced with both of those guys that they help our football team. And really, that's what they did, guys, from 22 to 23.
Right.
They brought in free agents that upgraded the position. And that's all you're really aiming to do. And I guarantee you Nielsen had a hand in who they brought in the secondary based on what he likes to do. So
all right, so
that's the defensive part. Now,
you've walked some fans off the edge there after Mark Ross just basically kneecapped everybody yesterday. By the way, Mark Ross did a great job yesterday. We're going to have him on often during the season. So, Cleo, back to you now because you shook me last segment. It's a great – and you made a fantastic point, by the way, because – you're talking about a guy. Look, the college system is what it is. The college game is what it is. It's a lot of no huddle. It's all spread. It's you look to the sideline, you look with me, check with me, and the check with me typically is, and now colleges are going to be using the headphone, the quarterback to coach communication like the NFL now this year. But a lot of it is look to the sideline, check with me, and you've got grad assistants or just student managers over there holding up signs. One of them could be like a duck, and the duck means it's 11 personnel. And you could hold up a broom, and a broom means it's, you're running a 9 route, whatever it is. But that's what he knows for the last 3 years. Now he's coming in to a huddle. Give me a typical play call in the huddle, okay? This is what Brian Thomas has to hear.
Man, it could go, and this is 11 personnel. You can go trips right, scat right, all right, 525 F post swing, check with me, all right, 229 F shoot, H out.
And that's one play, okay?
Right, it's actually 2. The check with me.
But one call, I should say. One call.
Yep.
So that's one call. And this goes back also to what I said earlier about the quarterbacks. What you guys have to do is ridiculous. But the point is, he's got to hear that. He's got to hear the call, hear the initial play, hear the check with me play. He's got to know all of it.
And then one of the most important parts is you got to anticipate the check, right? So when you see the defense in their shell and they start moving, you can anticipate what he's going to. If he's going to stay with the original call or he's going to the second call. So that helps you now to see, to Coach's point, to see where the nickel is aligned. Now I can start being more detailed. Is the corner shaded inside of me, outside of me, right? Am I getting double teamed? Am I going to be the single receiver?
Right.
Is it coming to me, right? Because you can anticipate by the coverage if I'm the number one option, because it changes, depending on the defensive rotation.
It's funny. This all goes back to I'll never forget what Herm Edwards said to me one time. He said, look, there's a reason guys stay in the league a long time. Everybody has talent. The guys that stay in the league are the guys that have talent between the years.
Yes.
Those are the guys that stay in the league. So with Brian Thomas Jr., you would expect the other receivers are working with him, right? That Trevor's working with him. That would be, that's kind of par for the course at this point, right?
I'm sure once his name was called, I'm sure he probably got a phone call from Trevor same day. Hey, let's get to work. Excited to have you. A lot of expectations for both of us. Let's go out and make some magic. So, from day one, he has to understand the role he's playing in this offense and the type of media coverage he's going to get as well. So sometimes when training camp happens, that undrafted free agent that might drop 3 balls, they might not write about him and they might not even mention his name. Let him go out there and do that.
Yeah. While he's still dealing with learning play calls and yeah, there's a lot going on, and he's like, this is kind of my point why he's on the spot right now in training camp, but they expect a lot from him. They need him to be
absolutely
a guy that can take the top off, as Dave says. They need him to be a 1 if he can do it. He's still adjusting to the league, Dave.
Right. Well, that's kind of why I said he might not catch 70, 80 balls, but they can get him in a position to where he does things to help the football team.
Right.
And then when he has the opportunity to make a big play, if he's a number 1, he needs to make that play. That's the difference in my mind.
Or to Coach's point, right? Because he was considered a second to Malik Neighbors, he might come out and now establish that number 1 role and become something that no one thought he'll be, right? He can you got to look at it on the other side as well.
A lot like Justin Jefferson at LSU.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now with that added responsibility and more balls coming his way, it gives him an opportunity to actually do more for the offense.
But let me ask you this. With your experience in the NFL as a quarterback and dealing with receivers, why does it click immediately, like Jamar Chase, like Stephon Diggs, like Justin Jefferson? Why does it click immediately and they have huge rookie seasons? And really, receivers of late, the high draft picks, they're all coming in and immediately making impacts. And why does it take others a little more time?
I think it all comes to your confidence. And this is how I am with receivers. Sometimes you don't like the brash, confident, smack talking receiver. Right. A lot of fans probably don't like that. But in a locker room and you see that type of confidence, that an Antonio Brown might have, that some of these veteran receivers have and they bring to the offense, I think it helps. I think it's part of their makeup. It's part of their DNA. They welcome the challenge. The lights are not too big. So when it's go time, this is what I've been waiting for all my life.
Yeah.
Right? This is my moment. And other guys look at it as, am I ready? They're second guessing themselves.
That's what we don't know.
That's what we don't know.
That's what we have to find out.
And the preparation is key. So if he prepares and he has those veterans to create that force field around him to where he can just focus on ball, and Trevor is right there with him, I think he'll do great.
So you kind of see him then, Dave, as for lack of a better way of saying it, you see him as like a Zay Jones type of guy that is is secondary within the offense, but that could take the top off if needed. That can make big 50-50 catches if needed, which is what Zay did every once in a while.
Right.
But Zay had 70 catches. I don't know if he's going to have 70 catches. But your view is if he has 40 to 50 catches, but he's averaging 15 or 16 yards a catch and he gives you 8 scores, that's a big year.
Absolutely. But the thing I look at is that he's more talented than Zay Jones.
Yeah.
It comes down to, we always said back in the day, if you're smart and you have character, those are the guys you want on your football team because they develop. Well, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
If he's got that character. He's got the character.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. If he's smart enough and can pick up things fast, then he's going to do more in the offense. That's what it comes down to. And also what Cleo said was big, in my opinion, when he says that the other receivers are going to be helping him. We talked about Landry when he was here for OTAs.
Right.
He was with that kid every they followed around like a puppy. Well, that's one of the reasons they brought Landry in.
Maybe they paid him $12,000 for that week or whatever, just so he could run around with him, right?
Because they wanted to see what he could do, but at the same time, they felt like he was a guy that could help that kid.
Right.
And I think that's where we're at. And I also mentioned on the break that Larry Allen, for us, the offensive guard.
The best guard ever in the history of the league, right?
Yeah, Hall of Fame guard with us with the Cowboys back in the day. When I was a head coach, I sat in on some of the offensive line meetings, and he was asking every question. So after the meeting, I said to Larry, Larry, you didn't know the answer to whatever it was?
Right.
He said, Coach, I know all the answers. I want to make sure they know the answers. And really, that's where the veteran comes in, and that's what they'll be doing, hopefully, with this kid. And if he's smart and he's got character, then I expect him to do good things.
So you actually see, I think you do too, Dave. You see this as like a throwback to 2022, this wide receiver core, where it's not like you're going to have this great guy out there as a great one, but you're going to have you're going to have 3 or 4 guys that can hurt a defense.
Yes.
3 or 4 guys that can do enough for Trevor to where he's comfortable within that system.
And the crazy thing is that keeps a defense off balance. Because now you don't show a lot of tendencies, because a lot of things they go off of on film study are tendencies. So if you can now move people around, get them to do different things, and then attack when they're not expecting it,
right? I
think that can be used to their advantage.
All right, one more segment to go here. This has been a full 2 hours, lots of fun. We'll come back on the other side. Get a couple more players that we think are on the spot there in training camp, which starts in a week. Rookies reporting. We'll wrap it up. It's XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Make your track bar adjustment on 1010XL.
He said he was a little bit free.
This Sunday at Pocono Raceway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on your NASCAR station. 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back on the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com. When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Mueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler?
Aaron Burr.
Bueller?
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. It's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
July 12, 1930, at the Men's U.S. Open, defending champion Bobby Jones wins record-tying fourth U.S. Open title, capturing his third consecutive major title.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Let's go! Help cheer your Sharks on to victory as they battle the Green Bay Blizzards in exciting IFL football action this Saturday, July 13th, 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Now, check out our new family pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift card. It's a great deal. To purchase yours or to get more information, call 904-621-0700. And ho, ho, ho! Who's ready for Christmas in July?
A little Christmas music, maestro?
Whether you're on the naughty or nice list, come out and support your Sharks. You never know, you might get a chance to say hi to Santa.
It's almost Christmas.
All we want for Christmas is a Sharks win. Check out our post-game autograph session and see if the players and dancers are asking for the same present as you.
Let's go!
Don't miss the fun and excitement of Sharks football this Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Let's go!
Let's go!
Joe C. for the Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders, a full staff of professionals that have been in this Jacksonville community for a long, long time, and they're ready to answer all those questions. And you know what it's like when you're making big decisions. Well, they can be pricey, but you also want to make sure that you get with the people that can take care of you and deliver on what you're paying for. So if you're thinking about a brand new home, a remodel, addition, you want to look around, it could be commercial or residential, you can trust Preferred Builders. Log on, preferredbuildersjacks.com, and don't forget, if you need a roof, you definitely need to check out preferredroofingjacks.com.
Hey, Jaguar friends, I'm Donovan Darius, former 10-year NFL strong safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm hosting my free Tackling Technique Jaguars camp for kids ages 10 to 14 on July the 27th. This Jaguar camp will have some of my former Jaguar teammates out there coaching the kids on all the fundamentals that it takes to be a great tackler. To get involved, just go to DariusNextLevelTraining.com to sign up your kids ages 10 to 14. If you'd like to sponsor, you can go to the same website, DariusNextLevelTraining.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I have exciting news from Leonard Truck Outfitters, now with 2 great locations to get that truck hooked up. Beach Boulevard just past Southside and one on Blanding. I got my truck taken care of, and you should too. Leonard Truck Outfitters, your truck, your style.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, one more segment to go here on this Heavy Metal Friday in XLP. We've been breaking down players on the spot. Training camp, which begins, Rookies Report, a week from today. And I think we'd be remiss in not saying this and not starting. I'm going to get to the 3 guys that are in contract years because I think they're important as well. But I also want to start with the guy that we have to look at this. This is the nature of where he's been and where he was picked. Trayvon Walker's on the spot. And I've been saying all offseason, and you know me, Dave, I've been a guy who's very, I've had a lot of questions about him, the pick, the development.
Right.
And you and I have gone back and forth about this a lot, both on the air and off the air. I think he's going to have a great year. I think this is going to be his breakout year. especially if Armstead stays healthy, especially if Devon Hamilton becomes back and becomes the guy he was in last year's training camp when, man, in individual drills, he was unblockable. Devon Hamilton was ready for a huge year last year.
Yeah.
So you get that interior push and the interior ability to rush the passer, Trayvon Walker is going to explode. Would you agree with that?
I agree with
And
it.
would you agree that he's on the spot right now in training camp?
I would say he's on the spot based on where he was picked. You know,
Right.
how I feel about if the guy's a good player and he helps you win, I don't care whether it was picked number 1 or number 20. But, you know, when you're talking about what the expectations are, yes, he has to keep going.
Especially with the number 2 overall in Aiden Hutchinson, who is now a star in the league.
Yeah, and the one thing about Trayvon is he's smart and he's physical.
He's a character
and he's
guy.
Talented.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know he upped from year 1 to year 2. I expect him to keep going because those are the guys that develop. And I think the coach that's there, Shuey, he's the only defensive coach they kept. So I think he has a way of teaching those guys. I expect him to have a good year. But for his development, he's on the spot because this is an opportunity for him to go forward and get better and the accountability of where he was picked.
Right. So, Cleo, Mark Rush yesterday said, you don't see guys like that. That size, that athletic ability, that bend, that length, like Trayvon Walker. And Mark Ross said that he doesn't think he's played as well as the 10 sacks, represent. He said he thinks he hasn't played as well, that he needs to play better. You're talking about a guy that, because of those physical abilities, if it clicks,
right?
My God, you've got a real deal out there.
And I think that's what the thought was when they drafted him. They wanted him to be able to be that type of player for them on the other side, right? And I think going into training camp, players always have goals that they want to reach. And you want them to fit within the team goals. And I think for him, for Trayvon, I think he sees the guy on the other side get a nice contract.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he's looking at that. It's like, hey, I'm not that far away from that. Let me start to take my game to the next level. And with the focus now being on Josh Hine Allen, now I can just focus on winning my one-on-one battles because that's what it's going to come down to. And if he's able to do that and add to the team goals, I think the sky's the limit for Trayvon Walker.
All right, so
I think one of the reasons he was dinged on the pick itself was the fact that he was not an edge rusher his whole college
he played
career.
everywhere. Right.
They took an interior rusher and made him an edge rusher.
Right.
And the thing about that is he hasn't reached his peak.
Right.
Hutchinson has reached his peak.
You think
Hutchinson's going to be
he's hit his ceiling? Really?
He's going to be who he is. That's who he is.
Pretty good
He's
player,
there.
man.
But this guy has got a lot to go forward, and that's where it has to come out.
Hutch is a pretty good player now.
He's a good player. I'm not saying that. I mean, he's good.
All right, let's go to those 3 guys in contract seasons right now. And it sounds like they're trying to get a deal done with Tyson Campbell. Andre Sisco and Walker Little are also on those contract years. Those are 3 guys. I think it's important that these 3 guys have big seasons. And I'm including Walker Little. Like, Walker Little's going into camp. He's competing for that left tackle job. There's no doubt he is. So it's big for these guys, not only for them because you get the second contract. I also think it's big for the GM here. I also think it's big for Trent Baalke that Tyson Campbell plays big, that Andre Sisco played. Like, they take the next step. If Walker Little were to beat out Cam Robinson, that's very good for Trent Baalke because you're saying, look, this guy he's better than the guy we got there. This is the guy we drafted. This is the guy we've developed. If Andre Sisco takes the next step and becomes a consistent, because he shows flashes of being like a very good safety. If he becomes a consistent player, then you're like, yeah, we picked him. We knew he had an injury, but we developed him. If Tyson Campbell becomes this elite corner that you thought he was a year ago, And again, the injuries, like you say, he had that hamstring injury. I think it bodes well for Balky as well, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is, where did Cam Robinson play football? What was his college?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Or Alabama,
Well, you
as I
got
like to say.
Alabama and Stanford.
Right.
That's the difference right now, in my opinion, between Cam Robinson and Walker Little. Because Walker Little has not shown he's shown the athletic ability, but he has not shown the fire.
The dog.
The dog that
Right,
Cam
that
Robinson
Cam is,
has
right,
shown.
right.
So that's going to be an issue. In other words, where he was picked, okay, was the right spot athletically. Because I think it was, second round?
Right.
Right?
And he
Pretty
was
high
coming off. He sat out the COVID season, and the year before he had the knee injury. Right.
A little bit similar to Walker from the standpoint that he didn't have much foot. He didn't, the position he was playing, he didn't have much experience. So that's the issue right there. Because athletically, he is probably a better athlete than Cam Robinson.
He's also, to be fair to him, he's also played really well when he starts.
Left tackle.
Yes.
That's right. So I'm with you. He's got to compete. Whether or not he can beat him out or not, I'm not sure, but he is a pretty good third. Cisco's the one. Cisco has got to take that next step.
Right.
Because he's a starter. He's a starter today.
Right.
When he walks out there, he's got to take the step of being the big-time guy. Consistently that they have asked him to do. Because he can hit. He's smart. He's got a nose for the football. Well, let's go play football. And now you're a veteran. Let's go play.
Of those three, Cleo, who do you think has the most pressure to perform?
Well, I think they all have pressure. And one thing I want to address before we move forward, and I say what I'm going to say about that, just to play devil's advocate to your point about it looking good for Trent Baalke, the general manager. I think sometimes when it's training camp time and it's time to make these tough and hard decisions, I think that sometimes weighs the decision that's made, actually.
Interesting, yeah.
Because as a general manager, I'm sitting here, these are the guys I drafted. I want these guys to work. And sometimes, we kind of don't see we don't listen to what our eyes are seeing.
Right.
And we make decisions according to how it's going to make me look and how it's going to affect me moving forward with extending my contract or remaining in my position. Because it looks better if I draft a guy and he remains and he plays well.
Yeah.
So that's a tough part when you're going to evaluate who starts, who makes the roster, who we're going to trade, those conversations. So that's why I wanted to address that. That's a big part of.
So you're looking right at Walker Little is what you're looking at.
Absolutely.
I mean, and that's fair. It's obvious. And Leon has said this over and over. Like, Walker Little's not going to go into thinking he's going to be a swing tackle. This is his money year. He has to start, right?
Yes.
That's what you want, But at the same time, we got to compete, Coach.
Yeah,
we got to put these cleats on. We got to get on this grass, and we got to compete. And whatever the ball says, that's what we got to roll with.
All right, so we are a week away. Rookies Report next Friday. It's going to be fun. This has been a fun, quick 2 hours. Let's hit this now.
Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Dave, your takeaway from today?
This has been a great segment. Having Cleo here talking from a player standpoint, I really enjoyed this. Having Warren Moon, that's my
awesome,
takeaway.
Right? Yeah, it was awesome.
This was a great 2 hours, and Jaguar fans, get fired up. Duval.
We got Dave going, Cleo.
Coach standing on business. I love it. You know what? Coach took it right out of my mouth. Warren Moon. I had a chance to interview him, ask him some questions. Hall of Famer, man, one of my favorite players of all time. And then also, the Jags are here. Training camp is about to open. Let's go.
Yeah, that is the takeaway. The takeaway is we are 1 week away from rookies showing up, and it's fun. All right, this has been a very, very fun 2 hours. Josie's coming back from vacation next week. Lee and I'll be back. We'll have the full group back together again. RJ, you got a giveaway, right?
Absolutely. We do have a pair of voucher tickets to the Jumbo Shrimp at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Be caller number 2 at 641-1010, and those voucher tickets are yours.
All right, Camps, great job. Thanks for showing up. Cleo, fantastic job, man. We love it. We'll be leaning on you heavily in the football season.
Bring it. Let's go.
All right, man. For Dave Campo, for Cleo Lemon, for RJ in the box, I'm Matt Hayes. We got the Frangie Show coming up next, then Baloo and Hacker. Keep it on the Superstation.
Come on, Joe. That ain't good enough.